Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you watched the last video, our video on Area 51, you might have thought, hey, Andrew died at the end. Or you may have just realized that we were faking the whole thing. The best part about my Area 51 spoof, it being Area 51 day where they were raiding Area 51, I thought this was a fitting one to put up on Friday. And I gotta admit, I'm surprised with some of the comments being like, it's fake. Yeah, no shit, it's fake. It's a spoof. Like, it's obvious that it's fake. There's people in the background. Like, it's car stuff. I mean, I guess if you're not into car stuff, you might not have known that it was, car stuff at first. You're like, whoa, that's crazy looking. And yeah, I mean, I can see that. But I mean, if you got to like 3 minutes in there or so, and you're seeing like some of the stuff. Like, there's no reason why you could possibly say it's fake. It's like obvious this is fake. And if you got to the end, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was probably a waste of your time if you're looking for all sorts of fun car stuff. But we want to have fun from time to time, and that's kind of what we wanted to do for Area 51 Day. We're back at the shop. And if you've noticed, we didn't post anything on Sunday. Didn't post anything on Sunday because, well, it is football Sunday, and I forgot. So I think that what we're going to do is we're probably going to change up the schedule a little bit to be better suited for football Sunday and Saturdays and all that stuff. Like, I noticed, like, during this time, it's just, I don't have time to watch it because I'm watching football. We're playing World of Warcraft. And I think that we might be better suited if we do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday deal here. So that's what I'm going to aim for, is changing the schedule to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we will see what happens there. Anyway, so as far as other jokes and other things that we weren't expecting, I got something in the shop today. It is a Camaro. Yeah, no, it is a Corvette Z06. And it has an intake that, this is one of the tricks about tuning. This is one of those things that you need to know ahead of time. Well, not ahead of time, but you need to retain certain knowledge. And that has to do with watching out for interesting differences. I'm going to show you one of them right now on this Z06 that we're tuning. So this Z06 has the Corvette Performance intake, and it's very important that you dyno this one a certain way, otherwise you're going to run into issues. Some of you may have noticed on a previous video that we had two red Corvettes before we went to see Mike down in at Drag Week in Cecil, and one of them we dynoed with the hood closed. That's because it had this same intake on. What's going on is the intake functions differently with the hood open and hood closed. This is like one of the only intakes that does that. So I had to dyno this closed. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about the big differences with it in just a sec once we start it up. Okay, so here's one of the things that you need to be cautious of as a tuner. You see, the long-term fuel trims are roughly 18.5% off if you take the average of the long-term fuel trims, and the short terms have dialed in. The long terms are just the average of the short trims, and this is at a MAF hertz of like 2200 or so. The car's idling fine and all that stuff, but it's definitely way off. The hood is open. Now, you did see this car, or you saw a red car with the same intake on the dyno with the hood closed, and you're like, why did that happen? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to just walk on over here. I'm going to close this hood. Okay, hood closed. Watch this. Now you're going to see those short terms start changing. You can actually see the graph from when I closed it. And look at the difference. We're going, looks like we're going to average somewhere around a 15% difference from where we were with the hood open. So that's a lot. That is a big discrepancy, and that's one of those things that you have to be careful of as a tuner. In most cars, you're going to dyno with the hood open, and that's not going to make any difference. And I test this all the time. can see that the Hertz are roughly the same, maybe a hair higher. Maybe what's going on with the hood close is it's forcing the air to come in a different way and hitting the MAF just a little bit better, and thus it doesn't have to add as much fuel in there. So very important that you make sure that it works out on the street the same that it works out on the dyno. Consistency is huge, and you'll notice that from time to time on the channel that we will have a car with the hood closed from time to time just so we're getting good data. Good data is huge. So we are running into a weird fuel pressure issue for the red Z06. I'm going to look into that a little bit further. We're going to start first with replacing the fuel pressure sensor. It seems to be cutting out and maybe causing an issue for the high side fuel pressure. So next up, we're going to dyno my car, the Corvette, not my Camaro. That's right, the twin turbo Corvette is about to make an appearance on the channel, and hopefully it's not a spectacular appearance other than good power. Okay guys, so the twin turbo Corvette is on the dyno. We just drained the meth out. Basically, it's sat for a very long time, so we're putting fresh meth injection in, or fresh meth. The pump is working, so that's great. And there's no leaks. We are as close as we can to running this thing. The only thing that I can tell you is that if it explodes on the dyno, it's because we may have plugged the wastegates in backwards to begin with. It's a 4-port setup, which is kind of dynamic, and it spiked the boost on the street, but only for a quick second. So hopefully that didn't really hurt anything. We fixed that. It seems to be running fine. I've been driving it. Again, no leaks. And I hope that she gets ready and does like really good tomorrow. It should, the last time it was out, it broke an axle in November, and I haven't really taken it to the track or anywhere since then. So yeah, it's been a long time. We're almost October. So I have to admit that I'm kind of nervous to dyno it, because I have had some incidents with this car on the dyno right before an event. So this car has had a progression of failures because we were pushing the limits to it at every step. This was back when we didn't know how far, you know, certain things went, like the pistons. We knew that there was a failure around the 700-ish mark. Popped the piston, did the drop-in replacement pistons, and didn't know where the factory rods went. They're a forged powdered metal, which I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it does apparently. But those fail at 930 foot-pounds of torque. That's what I found out as the engine came flying apart in pretty, well, it wasn't a crazy explosion, it's just like a lot of smoke, but it broke the block in 2 different places. It was catastrophic. The rod was still connected to the crank, and the other half of the rod was still connected to a piston. Kind of, or at least the wrist pin. It was bad. It was really, really bad. But, so, here we are right before an event. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen. We've had quite a few things to figure out on the twin turbo setup. We've modified it extensively, and now we're just hoping to God that it all works and holds together. Wish me luck. Doing some shakedown passes. Nothing to see here.
.27.
Slow boost.
.536. They're glowing. That was crazy.
The pipes or the turbo?
Pipes. Still are, actually.
Don't touch them.
Yeah, definitely not. .608.
Full soon enough. Almost got it.
.626. .638. .669. .708. .760.
Get in there.
.785.
I actually went down to the lower boost setting, started pumping some timing into it.
.817. Now we're making some power. Smidge.
That was 1 degree in timing.
Wow. .832.
Yeah.
.855.
I forgot to log it. Let it cool down and run it again. This time I'll log it. I took a video of the boost controller, so I have something, but...
that time? 8:56.
Okay, so we got some party ice, because like, we're gonna go party now. Hopefully. What the fuck? I thought I opened that wide enough. Pretty cool if it was like fit 2 bags exactly. Let's run it. It over boosted pretty hard. Got all the timing out. As a protection feature, but without those changes it went way fucking high.
Maybe mine melted alloy hose or something?
No, it's just a protection feature, so shut it off. I dialed the boost controller up too high. It went to 25 point some pounds of boost, which I don't want it to. I have it after a certain point cut out 20 degrees, and that's exactly what it did. So that fucking sucks because it's nice and cold. Let's see if I can make an adjustment quick. Boost controller, get where we want to be.
Now that you guys, the dyno's just freaking out. It said 1400 horsepower.
That's close enough. You get ice, 900. Or standard, like everybody else is using, 900. Okay. That's up.
So we did 886 rear wheel horsepower. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not ecstatic, but I didn't want to press it because I've pressed it before events, as I've been saying previously, and ended up not going to the events then. So I wanted to just get to the event and see how she does, see if I can get a good launch. And Abby apparently wants to go too. But yeah, I mean, I really wanted to get I want to see if I can get a good launch on this thing, maybe wheels up again, and actually go for it. The last time, picked the wheels up, but the axle broke. Now we have G-Force Outlaw axles on it, so hopefully that doesn't happen this time. The drag radials that I have are kind of worn, so, well, they're old now. So they're getting a little harder. I'm hoping that there's still some life in them. If not, it might just be all for vain, and I don't know, we'll just go with it then. But looking forward to tomorrow at the track. It's a track rental. There's only going to be 10 cars there. 10, that's it. So it's a hardcore, you know, let's dial this stuff in day. And I don't know if it hooks and books like it did when it broke the axle, which is roughly the same power level. This damn thing is probably gonna have a high 8 or really low 9-second pass. It's been a best of a 9.5 at 150, and yeah, it should do better than that. So we'll see, and you guys will probably see on one of the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Adios.